right, what is information technology? So this will be the point where I ask the kids, what is information technology to you? And then I'll ask individually, separately, what is information? Then I'll ask them, what is technology? And number three here, I'm not going to get into in this lesson here. That would be the next stage, but I'm not going to talk about that here. So when I present this to the class, I will cut number three out of there. So I will say, well, all right, well, let's start off by defining what is information. So in this class, we will focus on information from the perspective of information technology, and we'll start with information. So the communication or reception of known intelligence is what Webster's dictionary defines it to be. So information science has the perspective of how we classify that information. We also have information literacy and whether or not information can be well understood. We also have the architecture of information as it is linked on the web. Information has many definitions. So what I want you to do is to think about this. Is there a difference between data and information? Is there a difference between knowledge and information? So what is the difference between data and information? After I will ask them if they can answer those questions, I will move on. Data is raw, unorganized facts that need to be processed. When data is processed, organized, structured, or presented in a given context so as to make it useful, it becomes information, as defined by ITfun.com. And then next, what is the difference between knowledge and information? Well, knowledge refers to the awareness or understanding on subject acquired from education or experience of a person. Information is nothing but the refined form of data which is helpful to understand the meaning, according to keydifferences.com. And then I'll ask the class what that means to them. And then moving on, now we're going to move on to technology, and let us define what is technology. So starting with the Webster's definition of technology, a practical application of knowledge. Now there are a lot of ways to do that. And back in 1985, Stephen Klein wrote an article. He was an academic, an engineer. He wrote an article called What is Technology? This is attached to this Moodle module, and it is available. You're going to need to read it for today's reflection that I'm going to ask you to turn in. If you don't finish it in class, it'll be homework. Also, you're going to need to know this because it's very useful in this course. So Klein defines technology as all human-made objects that allow us to conceive something as simple as a wheel, a knife, and a fork, a spoon, a fishing pole, all the way to an Xbox, iPhone, or VR goggles. The second category is systems of manufacture. So that is pretty much what went into the tools created that were used to create that hardware, those artifacts. So next is number three, knowledge, technique, know-how, and methodology describes these, Klein does, as technology unto themselves. Lastly, Mr. Klein defined a category of systems of use, the sum total of relationships between hardware, artifacts, humans, and the way the two interact. We will examine all of these types of technology defined by Klein in this class. With these definitions of technology, we can define information technology as the discipline of information technology examines the nature of and the mechanisms used to select, create, integrate, apply, and administer computer-based information solutions to serve the needs of the user and organizations. So Dr. Saeed says in the video to his YouTube talk is also on Moodle, and I want you to watch that as well. This is very useful. He is the head of the Information Technology Division here at UC. So Dr. Saeed says, thinking of IT in terms of a phone, that the phone itself is computer engineering, what went into creating the phone and the device itself. So the phone's operating system would be computer science. And once a user starts using the phone, this is where IT comes in. IT uses that phone and the operating system to offer solutions to user problems in an organized, context. So the field of IT is user-focused on its approach for information solutions. IT fundamentals as a discipline is made of these pillars, as you see here on the projector screen. Some students might say that IT is a mix of computer science and business due to its interest in meeting organizational needs, but it's more complicated than that. Here we look at the pillars as separate disciplines, and many do require skills overlapping with computer science and engineering. But the pillar in the middle, human-computer interaction, which refers back to Klein's fourth definition, which has roots in cognitive psychology, sociology, and many social disciplines. So depending on your particular IT problem that a user will have that you're attempting to solve, we might focus more or less on the skills offered by a particular discipline or pillar, as you see on the screen here. Here's a list of some of the highest paying jobs in IT. I know you guys are going to want to see this. If you look down at the bottom, it says data scientist, product manager, developer, mobile developer, sales engineer, DevOps engineer, etc. According here to the comparable study, April 10th, and entry-level jobs in IT. So look at the salaries and look at the titles. You're not really going to see, other than right here where it says developer, that this is focused on a single discipline. Most of these are combinations of the tangible and intangible components of IT. So that just means you're going to need to know, in order to get these high-paying jobs, you're going to need to know more than just the tangible discipline of IT to fill your pockets. So the tangible components would be the hardware, the software, the network solutions, and the intangible, which is a vast field that we're not really going to cover in this course. That would be information, global economies, cultural, social, ethical issues. We are focusing here in this class on the tangible components. So moving forward, the resources that you're going to need for what we did today, I'm going to put this PowerPoint on Moodle. I want you to watch Dr. Saeed's interview on what is IT. It is very useful, very informative. Stephen Klein's 1985 article on what is technology that I mentioned here in the PowerPoint. And that PowerPoint, again, is there. So that is what I want you to use for today's participation grade. This is the prompt. It's a reflection. And as it says here on the screen, I want you to read Stephen Klein's 85 article, What is Technology, also using this PowerPoint for definition. I want you to define in the one-page Word document reflection, what are the 4 categories of technology? Next, what in this article did you find the most interesting? 3, what are you looking forward to the most about in this class? And then 4, that's where I use my PowerPoint, I want you to, in your own words, define data, knowledge, information, technology. Compare and contrast them as they relate to one another. All right, so we just went over what is information, what is technology, and what is information technology.